తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో, ఇది ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు.
హలో మై డియర్ వండర్ఫుల్ లిసనర్స్, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్, గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ అందరికీ. మీరు వింటున్నారు తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో, ఇది ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు. నేను మీ హ్యాపీ అవర్ షో ఆర్జే నమి. ఇవాళ మన హ్యాపీ అవర్ షోలో మరో స్పెషల్ లైవ్ షో అవబోతుంది. ఒక వెరీ స్పెషల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. అంటే పాస్ట్ 5 days నుంచి మన తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో కంటిన్యూస్ గా ఫార్మింగ్టన్ యూనివర్సిటీ ఇష్యూ గురించి ట్రాక్ చేస్తుందన్నది మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే కదా. మరి ఎప్పటికప్పుడు లైవ్ అప్డేట్స్ అందిస్తూ మన లిసనర్స్ కి, అలానే అటార్నీస్ ని అంటే మన షోకి తీసుకువచ్చి వాళ్ళతోటి కాల్స్ అరేంజ్ చేసి, స్టూడెంట్స్ అందరూ కూడా వాళ్ళకి కాల్ చేసి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తెలుసుకునేలాగా మనం చేస్తున్నాము. సో ఇప్పటికే 3 అటార్నీస్ తో లైవ్ షోస్ జరిగాయి. మరి ఇన్ కంటిన్యూషన్ టు దాట్, టుడే వీ హ్యావ్ విత్ us అటార్నీ లూకస్ గ్యారెట్సన్ ఫ్రమ్ బర్గర్స్ అండ్ గ్యారెట్సన్ లా ఫర్మ్. So today he is here with us to provide an update on the Farmington issue and the current status of the students and all the legal proceedings. So let us welcome him. Hello, Lucas. A hearty welcome to you, and it's a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to join in and be a part of this. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So first of all, a very big thank you to you for coming forward to help out the students impacted, from this fake university issue. And we really, really appreciate all your efforts so far.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. So, like I said, so the format of the show is going to be that we'll be first getting updates from you and suggestions from you. And if there are any calls, we'll be handling them as well.
Sure. So,
yeah.
We're ready to start if whatever question you have, and then we can progress with any questions from the audience at that point.
Sure. Lucas, before that, I'll just quickly announce the dial 2 number so the listeners can call us up, and then we'll start with the discussion.
Okay.
Right. So, my dear listeners, Mari, మీకు ఇమిగ్రేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ కన్సర్న్స్ కనుక, క్వెరీస్ కనుక ఉంటే మీరు తప్పకుండా కాల్ చేసి అడగవచ్చు అనమాట. మీరు కాల్ చేయవలసిన నంబర్స్ ఏమిటంటే, ఇండియా లిసనర్స్ 9705005005 కు కాల్ చేయండి. యూఎస్ఏ లిసనర్స్ అయితే 9197012005 కు కాల్ చేయండి. యూకే లిసనర్స్ 1158820005 కు కాల్ చేయండి. మరి మీరు స్కైప్ నుంచి చేస్తున్నట్లయితే తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో అనే ఐడిని సెర్చ్ చేసి కాల్ చేయడమే. మీ కన్సర్న్స్ ని మీరు ఈమెయిల్ కూడా చేయవచ్చు అనమాట. సో ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి వచ్చేసి teluguNRIradio@gmail.com. All right. So Lucas, we have one caller with us right now. So shall we take the call?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hello. Hi Andy. Welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు? Hello. All right, so looks like they've dropped the call, Lucas. So yeah, so here's the first question to you. So what is the current update that we have on the Farmington students? Issue update, Lucas, and what progress have the students made so far in terms of the legal proceedings? And have all the students gotten in touch with attorneys yet?
Good question. So I've been in contact with many other attorneys throughout the United States, and we've also been in contact with certain Telugu associations in D.C. that have been working with the embassy to try and help get the story out and track all the students and make sure we keep up with everyone and make sure there's no one left behind. Some of the first students, one of my clients, his first court date's next Monday. So from what I understand, the initial master calendar hearings are beginning to be scheduled from next Monday, the 11th. I think as of today, I've heard people scheduled till next Wednesday. So it seems like things are moving right now.
Okay, great. So yeah, we have a couple of callers who want to talk to you, Lucas. So we'll take those calls now.
Sure.
Yeah. Hello.
హలో.
Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు?
నా పేరు రాజు అండి. నేను కెనడా నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తున్నాను.
Okay, Raju. Yeah, please ask your question.
Hello, Lucas.
Hello.
I do have some friends in USA who did graduated from day one CPT colleges like Harrisburg, and they are in H1B right now. And will they have any issues in the long term?
Okay, that's a good question. So you say they graduated from the day one CPT university, correct?
Yes.
So where the whole stigma around all this isn't so much the CPT or even day one CPT, even though there is a gray area about the use of this, especially going for second masters. If the student actually adheres to the curriculum and the course schedule, attends the classes, it does everything else necessary to maintain status, there shouldn't be an issue. However, having said that, we are in a state of constant change with the president and the administration. Most notably for F1 students, the last August 9th rule, right, where they say if we find that you've not maintained status after this date, we can accrue all unlawful presence back to whenever we first determined there's unlawful presence. So, in short, there's no guarantee of any absolutes right now. But from what I see, from what I've heard from other people, there probably should not be an issue with that, especially if they already changed status to H-1B.
Okay, so they are in H-1B right now, and they won't have any issues, right?
Correct. Most of the people that are going to encounter issues now are going to be people who are F1 trying to change status to H1, who were picked in the cap case is still pending, maybe has RFE still pending. Okay, those are probably going to be the casualties in this, if you want to say that.
Okay. Also, they're going to get any queries during H-1B interviews?
Now, if they go for visa stamping for H1, there shouldn't be any issue in regards to that because it's already been adjudicated. They maintain status, changing status, right? So they're in a completely different status at this point.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Good question.
All right.
Hey, hi.
Okay, so yeah, please go on. May I know who's calling?
Yeah, this is Rohit.
Yeah, Rohit. Yeah, talk to Lucas.
Yeah, hi, Lucas. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, great. So recently I graduated from Farmington and I started studying from Feb to October in the Farmington University, which was trapped by ICE. And they have taken me to the detention center on the 30th of August, and they have given me the NTA notice to appear. But I'm still waiting for my notice to appear date. And in the October, my status was kicked off to H-1B. So what are my consequences?
So you have an actual approval for H-1B?
Yes, it's approved for 3 years.
With I-94 attached?
Yes, exactly. It's I-97
A.
9A. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're in status if they issued the document. However, it is kind of a tricky proceeding because now you are also in removal proceedings. And this is one of the issues we've been trying to educate the community on. The first instinct or inclination for all these students is to want to get out on bail or to get out of custody. When that happens, you're transferred to a non-detained docket, right? So you could wait.
Yes.
I just had an F1 student a month ago come in, and his first date published is 2020 for here in Dallas. So, I mean, the first hearing could be years.
Oh, for my case, it will be years.
It could, because what does it say on your NTA? Does it say at a date and time to be determined?
To be set. Yeah, the date to be set.
What is the court that's handling your case?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yes, Kansas City, Missouri.
And are you still currently living in the area?
Yes, they told me not to vacate that apartment, and they told me to inform them. So, what are my steps to be taken forward?
Well,
do you want me to tell them that I will go voluntarily and try stamping in India? What would you suggest me?
Well, so right now the court's going to have custody over your case, not so much USCIS. So you can't travel because they have your passport.
Yeah, they kept my passport, exactly.
So you're going to be remaining here in the country, and technically speaking of your employer, whenever you change status, you're supposed to present your employer with your passport and approve your I-94 to show that you're at H-1B status. So you legally, you might not be legal to work if you haven't done that at this point, right?
So my employer and the ICE officer told that you can work until the judge decides my decision. He told me that you can work and you can stay up here.
No, I know the ICE officer told you that. What I'm saying is for you to legally work for your employer with an I-9, you have to present both your passport and the I-94 giving you that authorization. So your employer might take a little risk in that, but other than that, you're just going to have to either try and hire an attorney to get a hold of the Office of Chief Counsel in the area to see if they can work with the attorney and terminate proceedings or do something to move the case, or else you're going to have to wait for some time.
So I tried calling the ICE number, and there's an alien number on the top of the file, right? The 9-digit number.
Correct.
So I was entering the number correctly, and it says the number doesn't match our records. So does it take some time to register, or will it be the quick process?
That's why I was saying you haven't been assigned to a court. So that's the issue. When you go from a detained, you were never detained, but when you go from a detained to a non-detained docket, right, there's such a backlog right now that they're issuing cases, each court is different, but here in Dallas, they're issuing cases 2 years out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's waiting 2 years till your first court appearance.
Oh, it takes years?
Yes, because of such a backlog. And the last government shutdown, the immigration courts are part of the Department of Justice. So that didn't receive any appropriations, and it was closed for 30 days. And that all that did was make a bigger mess, right?
So I cannot even leave the state if my job's completes over here. I cannot even travel to other state.
You should be able to hire an attorney and change venue where appropriate. And you can court. I've done this before with ICE, and we're able to transfer venue when appropriate. So you're not going to be permanently stuck in Missouri, okay? But I would recommend hiring a local immigration attorney. They would have the connections, especially to get a hold of the ICE attorneys, and then move forward with that, okay?
Okay, so I have some of the key points on my side, so will that work? So I have some points like why did the university has provided me the I-20s, and why did the DMV has generated my license extension approval, and these are some of the questions on my back. And also in the month of Feb 14th, I had a OPT card till Feb 14, 2018. And exactly on the April 4th, my employer has filed the H-1B. But when I count the days, I'm lesser than 60 days in the cap gap. So will that work in front of the judge?
It's possible. Again, you would need to, not knowing the full details of everything, you would need to work with a local immigration attorney that can represent you in removal proceedings, right? And a lot of the trial practice when it comes to this is depending on relationships with ICE attorneys, knowing the judges, knowing what to request, what's going to possibly work, or how to prepare your case to possibly appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals. So it is somewhat unique and complex, and each jurisdiction is different. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Good luck.
Thank you for calling. Okay, Lucas, we have 3 more callers waiting to talk to you. Can we get them?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. Evaru maatladutunnaru?
Yeah, this is Kumar speaking. Telugu.
Yeah, Kumar, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Lucas. First of all, I really appreciate your valuable time. And
of course, thank you.
Don't want to waste your time. And so the thing is, my friend, I'm working on my friend's case. He's detained at the Chrome Detention Center, Miami. And I'll just give you a brief description of what's happening now, and I will take your valuable suggestion. So we hired a local immigration attorney, and he submitted the bond, and we got a bond hearing for Feb 13th, which is next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was a prior notice date, which is February 28th. Before we submitted the bond, we got my friend got a notice saying that his date is February 28th, and then after submitting the bond, we got a date for February 13th, which is Wednesday. So, my question is February 13th. So how are the chances of getting the bond accepted and getting him out of the place, because it's been like more than 1 week and it almost will be 2 weeks until Wednesday. So
very good question, Kumar. Thank you for following up. So a part of the bond redetermination with the court, and again, each jurisdiction is different on what they adjudicate on. Part of what you have to go through is to show what relief you might have. So as students, most people here don't have any other relatives. They don't have qualifying relationships or any.
So I'm sorry to stop you, but while filing the bond, my friend has an aunt. She's a citizen, and she has taken the responsibility for the bond, and she has signed the bond. That is one thing we have done. She's a citizen here.
So she signed a bond, but they haven't had a bond hearing yet, right?
No, not yet.
Right. So when we look
13th.
when we look at the relief available, that's if we're talking about cancellation of removal for a legal permanent resident, cancellation of removal for a non-legal permanent resident, any type of asylum claim, withholding of removal, so on and so forth. There's certain relief that we have available. Now, most people in these circumstances don't have that type of a relief available. You know, they're single, their parents are back home, there's no U.S. citizen ties. I don't know if that would be great if this would work with the aunt, but I don't know if that's going to be compelling enough to work with this for bond purposes. The courts, some people might see the individual as a flight risk because they don't have any ties. Okay. Sometimes here in Dallas, people with simple public intoxication or driving under the influence arrest, if they get bond, have been given bond of like $20,000. So it's not something that everyone has a right to, or it's not the same as if you're in criminal court, right? This is not criminal court. This is a civil proceeding, and there's different factors such as flight risk, danger to community, things like this, relief available. These are all factors that the judge will look at. Hopefully, maybe your friend can get a favorable determination on the bond. Now, this is what we've been discussing in our attorney group is what's the advantage of getting out on bond, okay? So your CVIS is canceled. There's no relief. There's no way to change status. They're not going to return the passport. So you're going to be in a limbo for maybe 1.5, 2 years before you find any resolution to your case. So if your family wants you to return home or something happens that you need to be with your parents or something like this, you won't be able to go.
So adding to it, the main intention of getting him out of the bond is we don't know how much time does it take to, he's ready to self-deport himself, he's okay with it, but we don't know how much time does it takes to take him out of the jail. So that's why we immediately want to get him out of the bond. Then we can work on it on the self-deport option. So after getting him on the bond on 13th, if he hopefully by God's grace, if he gets him, we get him out on February 13th on the bond. Can he opt for the self-deport option?
Well, you see, as soon as he leaves custody, right? So as soon as he posts bond, the court is going to remove him from that court and put him in a non-detainee court, which means he's going to transfer it to a different judge, a different court, and he will be put in line behind all the other pending cases. So it might be 1.5 or 2 years before he goes to his new court.
Oh my God.
That's why I'm telling. So my clients, one of them had the first hearing. Is going to be next Monday.
Okay.
I've already reached out to the ICE attorney and the judge, and we're going to request voluntary departure under safeguards. And what safeguards means is, if you can, have no criminal background to a certain extent, and you have the means to buy your own ticket home, ICE will transfer you to the airport to physically see you be put on the plane, and then once you get there, then you're free on your travels back home.
Yeah, so we are ready. My friend is ready for the talks, and he's ready to go to travel to India. So, what is a good thing to do? Like, do we need to request it to the judge on the 13th, or do we need to? Can we also talk to the ICE attorney earlier? Because my attorney, he said he reached out to the detention officer who is assigned to my friend. He has the detention officer details. So he said he reached out to the officer to ask him to release him on the bond, but the officer denied the request, and he said you need to go to the court to fight for the bond. That's what he said. So is the detention officer and the ICE officer both are different, or it's the same? Who will take care of the deportation process?
Very good question. So within ICE, we have a detention officer who they first interview the person, they take the passport, they do the biometrics, the fingerprints, the photographs, all this. They do a background check to see if they're criminals or if they've had any other issues. Mm-hmm. Then once all that's logged, they issue or bond or they do not issue bond, right? So now I can, outside of a few jurisdictions, no bond is being issued. So after that, I always, I talk to an officer once or twice, and once I get to understand, in one of my clients, there's 2 or 3 people in York, Pennsylvania. I only spoke to the detention officer once, and once I knew that they weren't going to issue bond, there's no point in continue doing that. We just went ahead. I reached out to the ICE attorney, who will be like the quote unquote the prosecutor in the case, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I already mentioned everything. He looked up the background. Instead of doing everything the day of in court, the best thing you can do is reach out ahead of time, if possible. Get your friend's information in front of the officer. Hey, this is just a student. He's never done anything wrong. He has a clean criminal record. He's paid taxes. Do you have any objection to voluntary departure? If they have no objection, right, then 9 times out of 10, the court's going to grant the voluntary departure. Problem is, if you push for bond hearing, the bond hearing and the master calendar sometimes do not occur on the same date, right?
Okay. But
so if you go to bond hearing...
Okay. I'll just inform you one thing. I called to the I got a number to inquire what is the court date. I want to confirm it online. So I called to automatic voice, and they confirmed that, saying that the master hearing date is February 13th. That's what they said on the phone. Right.
Sometimes the court, and again, this depends on jurisdiction. Sometimes the court will, at the same master calendar hearing, will do a bond redetermination hearing. Okay. But sometimes they schedule bond redetermination hearings separate from the master calendar. It just depends on the schedule and the court.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Right, Kumar, so are all your questions answered? Hello? Yeah, looks like Kumar dropped the call. Okay. Right. So we'll move on to the next call. Lucas, hello? Hello. Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. Evaru maatladutunnarandi? All right. So I can actually see 3 members added to the call, but somehow nobody is responding right now. So, yeah. Hello. Hello. Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. All right. Yeah, looks like the call got dropped, Lucas. So we'll move on to our next question. So, right. So you mentioned in one of your previous messages that you have had a chance to talk with the Telugu associations here, and together you're on a lookout to identify if there are any more fake universities that are out there. So, how are you going to achieve this? And do you have a plan of action in place as such?
Well, yes, very good question. As of right now, some of the other attorneys and another gentleman we've been working with has brought all this to the attention. It looks very much, without saying too much, it appears that there might be another university. It's within like 200 feet of an ICE office, field office, in a warehousing district. So there's not an actual school, and it's advertised as one. So what we're trying to do now, I've put out a couple of phone calls. I'm trying to see if we can get any more media attention, because and this is what we were talking about. It's one thing right now. It's unfortunate. There's not much media attention on these students who were taken advantage of and are now suffering in detention for no crime at all. It's not that they were in knowingly participated in some fraudulent activity. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
And we want to maybe try and find the information before something like this happens again, so there's at least some clarification or some congressional oversight to say, why are we using federal funds to entrap students? So I don't want to go into too many details about what the school is or not, but that's kind of what we were talking about. And I'm trying to reach out to a few people to see if we can get some notoriety from national news media or something. It's, because we've not had much national media on this subject, and it's really a shame.
That's right. Yeah, Lucas, so I've just heard you say that, the entire court hearing and the bond hearing process, correct me if I am wrong, is going to take longer than expected. I mean, you were saying that it could go on for about a couple of years also. So, I mean, since this isn't an issue for a single student, and it concerns more than 129 students. So, can anybody's intervention, maybe from India or from anybody from the U.S. authority, can anybody's intervention expedite this process any way at all?
Very good question. We've actually there's one gentleman who's president of the Telugu Association in D.C. He's worked with 4 congressmen to issue a letter. Okay, and these matters obviously help, but at the same time, there's only so much we can do. There's only so much that can be done to help expedite this. I knew a couple of gentlemen that were a part of the last fake school that was in New Jersey, and I had to help them try and get the passports back, but it took almost 2 years to finally get them to where they could leave. That's why we're trying to get a game plan for everyone to take advantage of, to say requesting voluntary departure at the first possible instance is better than getting bond, because the process can be delayed for some time.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Lucas, we have a couple of callers waiting, so let's take calls now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారండి?
This is Shri.
సారీ, మీ వాయిస్ యాక్చువల్గా క్లియర్గా లేదండి.
This is Shri.
Yeah, hi Shri. Yeah, go ahead and talk to Lucas.
Hi, Shri.
Yeah. Hey, hi Lucas. I have a question. I'm a Farmington student, but I came to know this university problem on PEP first. So I realized that I had got the ticket and I came to India. But I thought before I was moved out from that university, but it's all of a sudden I got new. So I got a chance to transfer my savings from Farmington to another university. So I have an admission with other university right now with me, and I'm in India. So do I travel back to Europe, and is that safe now?
That's a very good question. What's your new university?
It's Trine University.
Okay. What type of program are you entering?
Yeah, master's in IT.
And it's going to be another day one CPT program? Is this a normal?
No, it's a normal university. Like we have to go like every week.
Okay. When did you first join Farmington?
No, actually, I did my master's in NPU, Northwestern Polytechnic University. So I did my master's in electronics, like electrical engineering. But really, I want to do research in IT field. So after that, I came to realize to complete my course in IT. So one of my friend referred to join the Farmington. So I don't know that time like this university is having it will have this problem. So all of a sudden I got news and I came back to India. But I really want to complete my course in masters in IT because I want to settle down in software field. So if I do research on IT, then that would more helpful in my future.
Well, you're probably going to have to get re-stamped, correct?
Yeah, but I do have like a valid F1 visa till December 2019.
Well, I would wait until you're sure that your CVIS is still active and able to transfer to the new university before you try and travel.
My service got terminated. Like as I got the information, I got the new I-20 and new service with me. So can I travel with the new service and new I-20 as initial I-20?
For safe measures, it would probably be best to get re-stamped.
Okay.
That's probably the best course of action, just because of the circumstances surrounding everything that's transpired, right?
Yeah. So you are suggesting me to go for the F1 stamping again, and
that's what I would recommend. That way that you're not traveling on any documents or anything associated with the previous CVIS, because the last thing you need is to be entering into a port of entry and then being pulled aside and be put in proceedings as yourself.
Okay, but I don't know, like a lot of people are saying if you have like a valid visa, then you can travel directly. But now you are suggesting better to go with the F1 stamping again and come back to the US and complete my course, right?
Correct, because your old stamp's going to be tied to your previous CVIS, which is probably in a database associated with the Farmington students, right?
Yeah. And if I face the like F1 student visa again, what are the question I'll get? And
well, that would be hard to say, depending on where are you in Hyderabad?
Yes.
So be probably similar to the last time you went for stamping and wanting to know what ties you have, what course of study you're going to pursue. Are you going to return home once your education's complete? If there's no evidence of you not adhering to that previously, it's still discretionary to the officer, but that's the safest course of action, because I wouldn't want you to travel here and then have your be put in removal proceedings and then get stuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Shri, for calling. Hello. We'll move to the next caller. Hi. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారండి?
నా పేరు రాఘవ అండి.
Raghava. Yeah. Go ahead and talk to Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Actually, my sister studied in Farmington from 12 months. Now she's in Tulsa County. Actually, we have got to know the hearing date at 14th February at 3 p.m. So how could I plan my things? Like we have hired a local attorney who is going to represent her in the court.
Okay, so the court hearing is actually, if she's in Tulsa, is going to be taking place in Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah. So it could be one of two judges, either I want to say either Judge Sims or I want to say it might be Judge Sims. So whenever the attorney goes, I mean, it'll be similar to what we've been discussing, either requesting voluntary departure or...
Yes. She's requesting for a voluntary departure.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the voluntary departure would be under safeguards. And that's, if you could help arrange the travel for your sister, make sure all her belongings and everything are ready.
Sorry. So do they give any time for us to actually she need to pack her bags or anything?
No. So what's going to happen is you're able to take personal effects to the Tulsa County Jail, and you can speak to ICE officer and say, look, my sister is so-and-so. Here's her belongings. Here's the order from the court for voluntary departure. We want her to at least have this to travel, like fresh clothes and things like this. And they'll usually give, but it needs to be a small travel bag. It can't be like large luggage usually. And again, this is changes area to area. But usually my experience, especially I'm in Dallas, my experience with Tulsa and things like this, that's usually the standard operating procedure.
Do we get the jail bond from there itself on that date itself, or it may extend?
Well, that's two different things. If you're asking for voluntary departure, you're not asking for bond at the same time. So I don't know if the attorney's going to try and ask for bond and then ask for you. The way it usually works out is if you get bond, you're she's willing to go back to India. She never want to return again. She want to go back to home. So that is the only thing. The fastest, best course of action is going to be asking for voluntary departure under safeguards. And if the judge grants that, which they should, then probably within the week she would be able to return home. Okay.
Okay.
If the judge, for whatever, denies that, then there's you can immediately go to the Board of Immigration Appeals to appeal that decision and compel the judge to grant the voluntary departure.
Okay. Thank you, Lucas.
Yes. Good luck to your sister.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. So, Lucas, if our callers have any further questions, would it be okay if we gave away your email ID to them so they can email?
Please.
Sure. So, మీకు ఇంకా కన్సర్న్స్ ఉంటే మీరు ఈమెయిల్కి పంపించండి లూకస్ గారికి. సో విల్ చెక్ దెమ్ అండ్ హిల్ ఆన్సర్ అనమాట. సో ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి వచ్చేసి lucas@bgimmlaw.com. సో ఈ ఐడికి మీ ఈమెయిల్స్ని పంపిస్తే తను తప్పకుండా రెస్పాండ్ అవుతారండి. ఆల్ రైట్. సో విల్ మూవ్ ఆన్ టు అవర్ నెక్స్ట్ కాలర్ లూకస్. హలో. హాయ్, వెల్కమ్ టు తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు? ఐ థింక్ ఇద్దరు మాట్లాడినట్టున్నారండి. మహేష్ గారు కాకుండా ఇంకా ఎవరు మాట్లాడారు?
హలో.
ఓకే, మహేష్ గారితో మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత శ్రీధర్ గారు మీరు మాట్లాడదురు కానండి. ఆల్ రైట్. గో అహెడ్ మహేష్.
Lucas garu, this is Mahesh. How are you, sir?
Doing good, Mahesh. How are you?
I'm good. So one of my friend, his name is Shivshankar. So one of my friend is Shivshankar. He's in New Jersey Detention Center right now.
Okay.
So he's calling me and saying that they're not able to give his bond amount, not saying any bond amounts to him. We already submitted 3 letters from citizens. So they are not giving that bond amount to pay the bond amount and get him out of that detention center. So
right. So this is probably you're talking to the detention officer, correct?
I think the attorney went and spoke with the detention center people and maybe ICE people, ICE officers.
I spoke to a couple of other attorneys in the area as part of the group that we're working in, and I think that they've been trying to work with New Jersey. Now, I don't know if they've been able to have any headway with that, but as soon as they're able to assign a master calendar date, that would be the next thing moving forward. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do until a date's assigned, because when they assign the date, the court is the case is assigned to a judge. It's assigned to the trial attorney, the ICE attorney, and then that you can start moving the wheels when that happens. But before that happens, it's kind of like an abyss. There's no one to really talk to other than the detention officer.
Yeah, they were saying that the court date is in March 21st. So it is kind of too late, right? So they want to get out of that go for a voluntary departure.
Yes, if they're detained, they're going to have a new court date assigned. They're mandated. They can't push a date out for court for a detention setting that far out. So they're just complying with certain regulations that they have to follow, assigning an actual date. But I would expect maybe into next week or the early of the following week, they should have their master calendar set.
Okay, so in this case, do you think we can't do anything right now by submitting these letters, or
We can try. I mean, you always want to try and do everything possible.
Yeah. We tried. We submitted those letters from citizens, those who are supporting that detainee, saying that he's a very good person and it doesn't have any criminal record like that. But they're not considering either. Do
you have an attorney that you're working with in New Jersey?
Yeah, I have an attorney. Yeah.
Work with them. Can you hear me?
You're breaking. Hello.
That's
I
better.
can hear you.
Okay, work with your local attorney in New Jersey, and I mean, obviously there's other things to do if the hearing can't be scheduled that far out. It's required that within 10 or so days, a detained person in immigration custody has to have some type of hearing. Okay, and I'm telling you, they're going to reset the date. There's no valid way that they can keep the March 28th date for someone arrested on the 30th.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that we can expedite that date pre-post?
They'll reset it. Yeah. So here's what happened, just to help give you a background. The Immigration Court is the Executive Office of Immigration Review, EOIR. EOIR is a part of the Department of Justice. So our president wanted to build the border wall, and so he shut the government down. So part of the government shutdown was Department of Justice. The only cases, the judges that kept working were cases where people were detained. So it caused this huge backlog and rescheduling of cases. It's a huge burden on all the jurisdictions. So what I would imagine is, due to the regulations that are required now, when they assign the notice to appear, the NTA, that they assigned a date, just a random date, and they're going to fix that as soon as they get more of the cases in order. Okay. I hope that explains it the best way possible. But there's please work with your attorney if there's nothing resolved within the next day or two for a due date, because that's illegal for them to push it out that far.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lucas. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll move on to our next caller. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. May I know who's calling?
Hi, Lucas and RJ. This is Sridhar Nagareddy. How are you guys?
Hi, Sridhar. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I was on the show with Santosh other day, and I spoke briefly with Lucas. We have been working on this issue. So the things I just want to bring it up, Lucas, as we discussed. So one of the things you said, like the personal belongings, at least the emergency or needed things, we can hand over the people for the voluntary departures exit. So like a carry bag, they can give it, or like how big, or like the necessary things like a clothing wise, a couple of dresses and whatever the sanitary needs and what else
Correct.
they can include that.
Correct. So personal effects, things that they might need to travel with, maybe a small bag that you would carry, like a carry-on bag for an airplane. We wouldn't want to have like a large suitcase, but I've had clients in different circumstances have brought maybe a trash bag size, a trash bag full of clothes and stuff because they didn't have luggage. But if you can carry, something that's not too large, like a carry-on bag, if they have that, and make sure they have fresh clothes, toiletries, things like this, because they'll need that to travel to feel good,
Yeah, there are two things, like at least like generally in the flight, they allow most of the carriers one check-in bag and one carry-on, and other ones the two check-in bags and one carry-on and a personal bag. So at least they may have here the belongings like a laptop and good number of documents, what they generally carry with them, whether it's educational or all the supporting documents, whatever they have. At least the things they need to carry all the time with them, right?
Correct. Correct. That's what I would, recommend. And obviously, as soon as let's say tomorrow someone gets voluntary departure order signed by the judge, the very next course of action is going to be reaching out with the ICE office to say, when can we drop off the belongings? What can you permit? What do you not permit? And as soon as you know what flight the flight's going to be, maybe a friend or someone can help check the bags of what items might not be permitted, right? Or if they have 4 or 5 bags, maybe they can help check the bags on the flight. But as far as like the person actually having custody over their own belongings, they're limited to one small bag while they're in ICE custody. That's been my practice from what I've seen.
Okay. And then there's a good information. Then other one is like the bonding out without bond out, like voluntary deportation. So is there anything like without bond they can come out, like bond money? Still, like all these people are like they are not criminals, or they doesn't have any criminal history, and then like some of them are the girls. So as they have the good character, like everything else other than the university that they're trapped in.
Even there's people shouldn't feel culpable. All these students were not charged with any criminal activity. They're not accused of doing anything wrong. Okay. They're just circumstances of the situation have impacted them. Okay. If they would have done something wrong, so we shouldn't have the course of action thinking that would be something. Number two, the detention officer sets the bond. Part of what we get we send out for factors for determining bond is criminal history, good moral character, relief that might be available. Okay, these are all factors that the courts can consider to establish bond. Even if the bond is set, there's no guidelines to say what the bond amount would be. The judges also have to factor in, danger to the community, flight risk, things like that. And again, different courts are very different. So there's a couple of, I don't want to name names, there's a couple of judges here in Dallas that, if we do bond redeterminations from no bond, sometimes they issue a bond of $20,000. So it's just really, at the judge's discretion at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. There was in Indianapolis, they did not go in front of the judge, but the ICE officers granted on $25,000 bond, whereas in New Jersey, I think it's $5,000 to $10,000. So it's larger amounts the students may not afford, or if whoever want to give a bond also, if there is a like large amount, they cannot able to. Is there anything they can negotiate, or is it like
there's not? I do have a good connection I've used that not many people issue immigration bonds. I do know a company that does, and I don't know. This is a new circumstance for me because most of the removal cases we handle are, someone is driving under the influence, and they have some immigration issue, but they might have family and kids here. There's certain agencies or companies out there that maybe the petitioners or the employers of these students, they might be able to secure a bond through them, so it's not so much money because no one should. I mean, it's hard to pay even if you got a $5,000 bond. Who has? I mean, that's a considerable resource for a student, right?
Yeah.
And then if they're out on bond, and they're out on bond, how do they live if they can't travel for another year and a half or 2 years? It's kind of using up all the resources.
They
cannot work.
Yeah.
See.
And who is responsible for that time period? Like, okay, somebody is taking out on the bond, right? The person is out. Something happens to him. Is it the Indian embassy is responsible or American government is responsible? It's like it's Farmington. Who is responsible for that? Or that's what Trump is asking, right? Like putting the people on the public, tax dollars. All these people. Is it a burden for America? And like why they are doing this?
Of course, it's a burden for America. That's why I'm trying to reach out to the certain journalists to see if we could maybe shed some light on this, because why are we spending so many key resources on making fake universities and everything else? And these students, they pay taxes, their employers pay taxes, they live in the communities, they pay sales tax. I mean, it's not like they're a burden on the economy or anything else. So it's just I think an after effect of this idea of making America great again. And the president signed this order, buy American, hire American. So obviously that by itself, if you just hear the language of the title, it's focusing, it's anti-immigrant, it's anti-anyone who's not American, right?
Yeah, you raised a good point. Basically, like everybody came to fulfill their dreams. I think somebody was also talking about that in the previous call. They half-heartedly went back and they throwed out of the country, spending like thousands of dollars all the way, like thousands of miles away they came. So what do you feel about it? Like how the message goes back, and like if some more people are going to come, how comfortable they are going to feel about this whole situation?
You see, and that's what most people don't understand. These students are all benefited from India making a decision in the 80s to focus on STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That was a key focus in the 80s, right? The United States hasn't made that same commitment until, the past few years. So there's, anyone that might be receiving any type of benefit from that education is a minor right now as a young person. So we have all the best cream of the crop. These students want to come here from their home country, contribute to our economy, contribute to our country. And, to be honest with you, the economy is utilizing them. We're at record growth on all this economy, record low unemployment. All this is done because one little project here, one little project there, that grows and multiplies throughout the whole economy. It has a compounding effect across the board. And if we close our doors to allowing people to come here and contribute to our economy, we're gonna have major problem. It's going to be hard to overcome that. And I wish more people would understand that, because we benefit. When I say we Americans here living here benefit more from the students coming here and becoming contributing members to our society than they do coming here. In my opinion, I think we benefit more. And it's just a shame that people don't appreciate and see the same way.
Right. Sridhar Garu, are you there? Hello? Oh, looks like the call got disconnected for some reason, Lucas. I'm sure he was listening to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we have one more caller, Lucas. Hello? Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. May I know who's calling?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Who is this?
Hi, my name is Bala.
Yeah, hi, Bala. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Bala.
Hello. Actually, I call regarding my status right now. So I did my master's, then I completed my OPT, then I got my STEM OPT also. Then, unfortunately, prior to the STEM OPT, my college got shut down, and USCS gave me 2 months of time to transfer my service to another university. And I transferred to the another university, and I took day one CPT while my H1B petition is pending.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my H1B approval, and then after I withdrew all courses from the school. So I wanted to go for stamping before the set date, that is February 5. There is a rumor going on, or it is true, I don't know. But my H1B amendment is pending right now because I changed my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. I was waiting to be up for the amendment. So once I get the amendment, so I'll go for stamping. So will I face any issues regarding this, or?
It's a good question. What I always recommend to all my clients or employees of my clients is it's up to you. It's critical to document and maintain your records. Okay. This year, I think we've seen unprecedented RFEs, especially from the CAP, but from everywhere. And pretty much almost every RFE I've seen from the CAP includes F1 maintaining status, whether it be OPT, STEM OPT, CPT. And you want to be sure that you're prepared to show that you've maintained your status, working 20 hours a week, not being unemployed for more than whatever period it is, depending on if it's your OPT, STEM OPT, or CPT, right? So especially for CPT, you want to know, okay, what's your course materials? What is the curriculum? What is the process for the purpose of day one CPT? Does the school have a program that says day one CPT, we want you to get experience? So when you come back to this class, you're familiar with, maybe certain programming languages or real world experience. Like if you're familiar with the agile methodology, right? So something like that might be hard to understand until you actually get in the real world to experience it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
The best.
So my question is, will that be a problem if I go for stamping? Because I already got my H1B approval, and I'm just waiting for the amendment to be approved, and so that I can go for stamping.
Shouldn't be a problem. What was your initial validity period for your H1B approval?
Initial what? I didn't get that.
Validity period, like it's the beginning and the end.
The validity period, it started from the November 13th of 2018, and it is valid until 2021 November 10th.
Okay. Are you full time, or do you have a?
I'm a contract employee.
Okay. So your current project, how many layers do you have?
I don't have any layers right now. There is an implementation partner and direct my employer, and there is an end client. So I don't have any layers between my employer and the end client. There is only one implementation partner.
That's really good. So, what I would recommend, maybe when premium processing is available again for your amendment, go ahead and see if you can upgrade to premium as soon as your amendment's approved.
I spoke with my employer regarding the premium processing, but they only resumed the premium processing for the pending petition, not for the petitions that are already approved and waiting for the amendment. So they didn't resume the premium processing right now. So there is a problem.
Right. No, I know. What I was saying is because here in about another couple of weeks, they should make it available at premium processing. So as soon as it's available, I would recommend converting your case to premium. And that way you'll have, if the RFE is triggered or anything else, you'll have all the supporting documentation to answer that. And then after your case is approved, hopefully, you'd have all the same information you can take to the stamping. And do you normally go to stamping in Hyderabad?
Yes.
Okay. And so most of my clients always recommend to use Hyderabad. Chennai somewhat has a few more issues just from what I've seen by the numbers. And from what I've seen right now, unless you qualify for lockbox or drop off for your passport, then most people are getting a 221G for admin processing, and you can you can expect anywhere from like 4 to 6 weeks processing time. So it's best if you plan to try and get an appointment as soon as you maybe go home, and then that way, while it's processing, if it goes a little bit longer, you're not waiting till the last minute and then risking your project or anything.
Okay. Actually, I was in CPT before the H1B approval from the July 1st to November. So there is some memo issued from USCIS, and it says from August 9th. So will that be a problem? Because
it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem because they already changed your status to H1B. And the August 9th memo is focusing on if USCIS in the future determines that a student has not maintained their status after August 9th, then they can go back from all the way to where they determine that the unlawful presence began. Traditionally, in the past, you would have only the accrue unlawful presence from whenever USCIS determines you not maintain status, right? Okay. So that's the distinction. But since you've already changed status, there shouldn't be any reason for them to re-adjudicate that issue.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lucas, we have a couple more callers. Actually, we're past our show time, but would you be able to extend your time for another 10 to 15 minutes?
Of course, that's not a problem.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. All right. So, hello. Hi, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. May I know who's calling? Oh, shoot. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, who is this?
Hi, this is Shravani, and I'm calling from India.
Hi, Shravani.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Lucas. So I have some questions to you. So I'm one of the students from Farmington University. So I got back to India before February 4th. So what is my situation right now? How should I, if I want to come back and continue my daily routines, what I'm supposed to do there?
Well, you're going to have an issue where you're going to have to find out, because your CVIS, if it was with Farmington, they terminated all CVIS on the last Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah. So can I get the new CVIS with the new I-20? Can I apply for any new college?
You can apply. Like I said to the person earlier, the best course of action would be if you did that, you would absolutely probably need to have a fresh stamp. So if there is any issue or anything like that, you're not coming here to turn yourself into removal proceedings, right?
Uh-huh. So there's any other way you can just suggest us what to do?
Well, have you identified another school that you were going to attend?
Because we don't have, it's a summer break. We are having intakes again in the August, so I didn't talk to any of the other university people.
Okay. That's what I would recommend, similar to what we said before, for that.
Oh.
Did I answer the question, or?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lucas.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just trying to make sure that you have clarity of maybe what the circumstances might be.
Yeah. So earlier they mentioned this before, the people who leave before Feb 4th or Feb 5th, they can come back with the new I-20. They can get the new service and all, but nobody is sounding anything. So we are not sure about the people who left the country.
That's why I'm saying I'd be very cautious about that. And that's why I would say I would go back for, if you do get fresh CVIS and you get a new school and all this, I would get, definitely recommend maybe getting a fresh stamp or something like that, so that you're not risking too much by getting here and then being put in removal proceedings or whatnot.
Yeah, even I don't want all that problematic things again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will try to get a new service firstly, and try to approach you later.
Perfect. Yes, you have my contact information. Anything you might need,
yes.
you can message me on the side.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Lucas.
You're most welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Yeah, so I think that was the last call, Lucas. So I have a couple more questions to you before we close the show.
Sure.
Yeah, so you were also saying that you had a word with attorney Santosh Somireddy and you have come up with a strategy to handle all this. Would you like to elaborate a little on that?
I think what we both discussed is similar to what we've kind of reiterated. We wanted to make sure that students, if they're able to get out of custody, but not only that, to be able to go home if needed. We had this first came up 2 years ago, and from my own experience, just seeing what happened, our first inclinations wanting to get someone out on bond, and then we debated and discussed what would happen. So as soon as you get out on bond, they, like I said, they're going to reassign the court and reassign a court date, which could be years ahead. And if it's not assigned to a court, we can't just go file motions to do anything because there's no court to file the motion to because it's not assigned. So there's these little bitty, I would say, like just glitches in the way things operate that could cause someone to be stuck here. That's why we were discussing, at the first hearing, just requesting voluntary departure with safeguards. And within a few days after the first hearing, even though you don't have bond, you could at least be traveling home.
Okay, so also, I mean, I've also heard that once, as and when the ICE contacts these students, if they try to get in touch with an attorney, there's a chance that they could get a G28, which would allow them to travel back to India. So what is it going to be like? I mean, once they go back to India, would it require for them to come to US for any kind of legal procedures in the future? So what are their next steps?
So there wouldn't be any legal procedures. So a G28, as far as what is required from the government, is permission from the respondent, which would be the student, for the attorney to represent them. So when you have to have a G28 on file, the officer won't share any information unless you submit that. So that gives us permission to speak with the officer. When we go to court, there's a different type of entry of appearance called a E28. So, I mean, it's something similar. They're both 28s. It doesn't permit you it doesn't give you the ability to travel or leave or close proceedings. It's just saying that I represent this person.
Okay.
So you do need that for the attorney to negotiate with the government or to represent in court. So yes, it is important, but it's not the actual method to end the proceedings. And then the second part, when the proceedings are closed, once you get voluntary departure, everything's closed.
Right.
So there's no additional case. There's nothing else to handle or do unless there's some kind of, this happened last time too. There was a large action with all these different students from the last university where they civilly sued the government. They weren't very successful on that. I think some people might have had some luck, but the other group I'm referring to weren't so fortunate. So that would be a whole different issue if they wanted to fight that.
Oh, and since you've all directly, I mean, you've interacted with the students, I mean, can you tell me, I mean, roughly what percentage of people can, I mean, put up a strong fight if they want to, if they choose to stay back here and fight? I mean, do we have a vague percentage on that? I mean, in case they choose to fight.
This goes back to not just the students, but attorneys. I mean, what can we do from different associations, from different perspectives,
Okay.
working together. What everything is time and money, right? So can we all work together to try and do this? If a student's wanting to live here and make the sacrifice without being able to work, if they have their family that can help support them or something, can attorneys help fight this at a pro bono level or something like this? These are all things that are all factors to be weighed together. These other students I knew spent a lot of money, and their employers spent a lot of money trying to fight this last time. And what you spend $15,000 or $20,000 to some of the best attorneys, I mean, it's still a lot of money. And if we could get some group or something that we could all maybe work together and do this at an affordable rate, or maybe even possibly to benefit the group as a whole from one of these associations, maybe that's something that can be done. But
right. Yeah, got you, Lucas. Yeah, so we have another caller that wants to speak to you. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this is Parmesh Bimredi from Assam.
Yeah, hi, Parmeshkar. Yeah, hi. Aata president kadane?
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Hey, Lucas, how are you? We spoke yesterday on the phone. Hope you remember.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Right. My question is, you said according to the ICE or UCAS rules or deportation rules, the people given a court date within 2 weeks. Is that
correct?
Right?
Correct.
But I heard somewhere in Texas or some other places they are given a date in March. It is more than 2 weeks.
So the government was shut down this past January, and the only court cases in immigration court that were moving were the detained cases. So the clerks and everyone with the court, they have to reassign all the cases and give them dates and fix all this mess for the backlog that would have occurred for that, right? There was a Supreme Court case that came out last year that says when you are issued a notice to appear, it has to have a date and time on it or it's not valid. Okay. So now, and I've had a lot of other clients, not students, that are here that maybe have asylum or something else, where they'll give them a date saying, okay, February 7th at 1:00, you need to be in the Dallas Immigration Court. So they'll show up with a piece of paper, and the court staff, everyone there will say, I don't know what this is about. There's no court for you today. Right. So they're just doing this to maintain the regulations of what the Supreme Court has, mandated, and also their own updated regs that they have to follow. So my strong belief would be this is just like a placeholder, and they're going to have to, within the 2 weeks. Most definitely they would have to have the hearing before the March 28th or whatever. So whoever is in a situation like that, I know you have a list of people who are detained and represented and those who are not. Maybe we can share whoever's not represented to see if there's something like that. We can try and reach out and get this moving faster, if that's something you want to do.
Right. So would you be able to help us if there's some cases, if they are too far, court appearance, if let's say if a month or two, would it be help us out to reach out to the ICE or the ICE council?
So when I have two cases that we'd already discussed yesterday that were in York, Pennsylvania. Right. So I just sent a motion in for telephonic conference to the court, and they'll call me on Monday and on my office phone here in Dallas, and we'll handle the proceedings, and everything will be handled on that day. So most courts operate that way, especially for initial master calendar hearings. So whenever you think immigration, you don't necessarily have to, especially for people detained. They're not at most of the detention centers. Like if you're in Tulsa, you're going to appear in Dallas on a TV. They're not going to actually be in the court with the judge or see your lawyer. The lawyer will be in the courtroom,
Yeah. It looks like that, something is similar to happening in Alvarado court or Alvarado detention center.
Alvarado?
Alvarado, yeah.
Here in Texas?
Yeah, we need to find out. Yeah, somebody was saying that.
Texas, I can talk to those people on the phone if I get a G28. The Alvarado is the Prairie Land Detention Center, and that's where people are held for here, the Dallas Immigration Court. And so Dallas has a pretty large jurisdiction area. They have most North Texas and all of Oklahoma.
Right.
I also, here's another point. Everyone I've spoken to, I've also said when I spoke to the students in jail, and we need to confirm and share this with everyone. There's a lot of people who are in detention who are criminals. There's a lot of people who are not the best of people. If any of these students feel like they might not be safe or in danger, usually the officers will allow them to be segregated from the general dorm into smaller cells. The guys that I spoke to in Pennsylvania, we arranged for them to go to a smaller cell so they're not with drug traffickers or all these other people that are waiting their removal hearings too, right?
Yeah, particularly the women who are single in the sense, they are alone in some of the detention centers like in Kansas. In York, Pennsylvania also there's one single girl. Yeah, she's scared to death, just weeping and, she's really depressed to be alone with these people.
Yep.
So,
but you have my commitment. We've discussed it at length of kind of the situation. We want to make sure we see everything through. So
right.
we also have a good network on our WhatsApp for other lawyers that have all kind of risen to the challenge here to try and help. And so it's not just me, but there's a lot of other people that are helping. And, we can, as a group, I think anyone who needs help from coast to coast, I think we can probably arrange to get that help to whoever needs it.
Right. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Parmesh Garu and Ata, for all your efforts in helping the students. Highly appreciate all your efforts, Andy. All right. So, Lucas, I think we're done with all the calls, Lucas. And yeah, I think we're good to close the show now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on short notice. And, again, like I said, we have groups here that are available to help
right.
Outside of just me or Mr. Santosh.
That's right. So is there anything that you want to conclude with, anything that you want to tell the students? I mean, all those other 600 students who may have received these notices but have not taken any action so far. Do you have any message for them? Anything that you want to communicate?
Just be prepared, plan ahead, make sure any information you have is shared with others. Make sure that people know maybe the circumstances in family. Stay informed with your government as well. There's representatives in Washington, D.C. at the embassy that are here and also working on this. So just make sure the communication keeps moving. And that's the most important thing.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us today on the show, Lucas. And thank you for your time and all your invaluable suggestions.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me, and we'll talk to you soon.
It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, yeah, my dear listeners, Mari, a lot of questions, a lot of answers, and a lot of panic ఇంకా కంటిన్యూ అవుతూనే ఉంది. బట్ డెఫినెట్లీ అంటే ఇప్పుడు వరకు మాట్లాడిన అటార్నీస్ కానీ ముందుకు వస్తున్నటువంటి తెలుగు అసోసియేషన్స్ కానీ దెవ్ బీన్ పుటింగ్ దేర్ బెస్ట్ ఫుట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ టు హెల్ప్ అవర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. అండ్ చాలా చాలా అభినందనీయం ఈ ఎఫర్ట్ అనేది. అండ్ మరి ఇవాళ కాల్ చేశారు శ్రీధర్ గారు, కమ్యూనిటీ లీడర్ శ్రీధర్ గారు కాల్ చేశారు, అలానే పరమేష్ గారు కాల్ చేశారు ఫ్రమ్ ఆటా. సో దే హ్యావ్ బిన్ కంటిన్యూస్లీ మేకింగ్ ఎఫర్ట్స్ అండి టు హెల్ప్ అవర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. అండ్ చాలా అభినందనీయం అనమాట. అలాగే మరి మీ క్వశ్చన్స్ కనుక ఇంకా మీకు రిజాల్వ్ అవ్వలేదు అని అనిపిస్తే లూకస్ గారు మరి మీకు తన ఈమెయిల్ ఐడిని ఇచ్చారు. సో డెఫినెట్ గా మరి మీరు lucas@bgimmlaw.com ఈ ఐడికి మీ కన్సర్న్స్ ని పంపించండి. హీల్ రెస్పాండ్ టు యూ. సో మరి ఇది ఈరోజు హ్యాపీ అవర్లోని స్పెషల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. సో షో వింటున్న స్టూడెంట్స్ అందరూ కూడా మరి సజెషన్స్ ని ఫాలో అవ్వండి. అండ్ జస్ట్ ఐ జస్ట్ విష్ మోర్ పవర్ టు ఆల్ యూ పీపుల్. అండ్ ఇన్ కేస్ మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ ఎవరికైనా ఇటువంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలి అంటే తప్పకుండా మరి మీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీరు పాస్ చేయండి. ఇన్ కేస్ మీరు కనుక ఇవాళ షో మిస్ అయినట్లయితే యూట్యూబ్ లో మరి తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో అనే ఛానల్ ని మీరు సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే త్వరలోనే, అంటే మేబీ ఇన్ లెస్ దెన్ డే ఈ ఆడియో లింక్ అనేది బయటకు వస్తుంది. సో ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీరు ఈ లింక్ ద్వారా కూడా పాస్ చేయొచ్చు అనమాట. ఆల్ రైట్. సో మరి రేపు మన రెగ్యులర్ టాపిక్స్ తోటి హ్యాపీ అవర్ షోలో మరి మిమ్మల్ని మళ్ళీ కలుసుకుంటాను. అంతవరకు స్టే హ్యాపీ, స్టే హెల్దీ, వింటూనే ఉండండి తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. మరి ఆర్జే నమ్మి ఇస్ నౌ సైనింగ్ ఆఫ్. టాటా.